Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into Meg 2: The Trench, the sequel that promised bigger bites and deeper danger, and delivers exactly that in gloriously over-the-top fashion. Whether you're a fan of prehistoric shark mayhem or just curious if Jason Statham can punch another Megalodon, this video will break down the plot, the new characters, and the behind-the-scenes chaos that makes this movie an absurdly entertaining ride. We'll also explore how it balances creature feature thrills with unexpected humor, plus some fun trivia about those wild action sequences. Stick around to the end for my final verdict and rating, and don't forget to comment with your thoughts. Did Meg 2 sink or swim for you? Jonas Taylor is introduced in a dramatically changed world. It's been 5 years since the first Meg attack, and he's now raising his teenage stepdaughter Meiying alongside her uncle, Jiuming Zhang, following the death of Su Yin. From the opening scenes, we get a sense of Jonas's evolved personality. He's no longer just a haunted survivor, but a protective father figure, though still carrying that weathered, determined edge. Alongside him is Jiuming, a global action icon brought to life by Jing, whose enthusiasm for their work contrasts with Jonas's more cautious instincts. Jiuming has been training a young Meg called Haiki in a reserve, believing they can coexist with the prehistoric predator. The film quickly establishes stakes through its inciting incident. During a routine exploratory dive to the trench, Haiki escapes and leads them to 2 massive wild Megs. But the chaos multiplies when they discover an illegal mining operation run by the mercenary Montez, who has a personal vendetta against Jonas. Montez triggers an explosion that traps the team at the bottom of the ocean, rupturing the trench and unleashing not just multiple Megs, but an entire ecosystem of prehistoric creatures toward the surface. This setup gives us a glimpse of the film's tone, shifting from deep-sea survival horror to the gloriously over-the-top creature mayhem that defines the franchise. By the end of this introduction, we already understand the expanded family unit at risk and the impossible odds stacking against them. The relationships in Meg 2. The trench anchor the chaos, giving the mayhem someone to root for. Jonas's interactions with Jiuming crackle with playful tension and genuine chemistry. Jiuming is the celebrity conservationist, all swagger and showmanship, while Jonas is the grizzled realist who trusts his gut over headlines. A brief scene where Jiuming confidently feeds Haiki in front of cameras while Jonas stands back, arms crossed, watching for trouble, captures their dynamic perfectly. One man believes in controlling nature, the other knows better. Supporting characters like Montez, the mercenary leader, challenge Jonas directly with his personal vendetta, creating a human antagonist amidst the prehistoric threats. Meanwhile, Meiying's presence transforms Jonas's arc. She's not just cargo to protect, but a brave, capable young woman who makes her own choices, forcing Jonas to trust rather than simply shield. These dynamics are essential because they make us invest in whether this unconventional family can survive together. One interesting aspect is how Jiuming's overconfidence in Haiki's loyalty blinds him to the wild Meg's threat, a misjudgment that will directly impact the chaos unleashed in the climactic Fun Island sequence. As the plot unfolds, Jonas and his team face escalating challenges that transform deep-sea exploration into all-out survival horror. Key Event 1 is the trench rupture itself. After Montez triggers the explosion, Jonas, Jiuming, and the others find themselves stranded on the ocean floor with oxygen dwindling and multiple Megs circling. This sequence immediately raises the stakes, showing how utterly powerless humans are at those depths. The creatures aren't just threats, they're ghosts in the darkness, striking from nowhere. Then, Key Event 2 shifts from survival to impossible escape. The team must traverse the ocean floor toward a disabled mining vehicle, all while avoiding not just Megs, but giant octopuses and other prehistoric nightmares. The filmmakers use claustrophobic framing and murky lighting to immerse us in their terror. Quick cuts during attack sequences, then long, agonizing takes as they creep through the abyss. When they finally surface, expecting relief, they instead discover the creatures have beaten them there, now hunting in the open water. The pacing masterfully builds from suffocating dread to wide-open chaos. Watching Jonas fail to contain the threat underwater, losing people watching Jiuming's confidence shatter, forces him to adapt. By the time they reach Fun Island, the stakes have escalated from survival to protecting hundreds of innocent lives, and Jonas must pivot from rescuing his team to becoming humanity's last line of defense. Meg 2. The trench isn't just about giant sharks eating people, though it definitely delivers plenty of that. It also, swims through some surprisingly relevant thematic waters. One of the most prominent is humanity's arrogance in exploiting nature. This is reflected through Jiuming's entire arc, his belief that he can train and coexist with Heike, treating the Meg as a conservation project rather than an apex predator. The film repeatedly punishes this hubris, most brutally when the wild Megs ignore his attempts at control and remind him that nature doesn't perform for cameras. Another theme, found family and protective love, emerges as Jonas, Jiuming, and Meiying struggle with what it means to be a unit after loss. Jonas isn't Meiying's biological father, but he steps into that role without hesitation. Jiuming, her actual uncle, must learn to share that responsibility. Their friction isn't just action movie banter, it's two men figuring out how to keep a child safe in a world that keeps throwing prehistoric nightmares at them. The cinematography and direction further enhance these ideas. Director Ben Wheatley shifts visual language dramatically between acts. The deep-sea sequences are drenched in cold blues and crushing darkness, emphasizing human vulnerability, while the Fun Island finale explodes with bright sunlight and chaotic wide-shot carnage. For instance, the moment when Jonas finally surfaces and sees the Megs hunting in clear tropical water visually symbolizes that there is no safe place. Humanity's mistakes have followed them all the way up. These layers make the film more than just a creature feature. They invite viewers to think about whether we can ever truly coexist with forces we don't understand, and what we're willing to sacrifice for the people we love. Some fascinating details behind Meg 2. The trench make the experience even more wild. Jason Statham, as always, did most of his own stunts. The entire jet ski chase was him. No stuntman, just Statham hauling across the water like a man who has no fear of giant sharks or, honestly, common sense. Director Ben Wheatley signed on immediately simply because he loved the first movie and wanted to work with Statham, which is honestly the best reason to direct a Meg sequel. So, the movie was filmed across multiple stunning locations. Principal photography actually took place at Warner Brothers Studios in Leavesden, England, where they made use of those massive water tanks. But the crew also traveled to Hong Kong, Hainan, Shanghai, and Qingdao in China. Oh, and get this, the gorgeous Fun Island resort finale. That was shot on the beaches of Phuket, Thailand, where the production team built this wooden pier stretching like 200 meters into the sea. Cinematographer Haris Zambalukos praised the Thai locations for their physical beauty and, honestly, the local crew's hospitality, which created a real family atmosphere on set. CGI and practical effects, they really combined to bring all that prehistoric chaos to life. The scene where a Meg devours a T-Rex. That's actually a direct nod to the first chapter of Steve Alten's original 1997 novel, Meg, a Novel of Deep Terror. And, fun trivia here, Meg 2 is the last film to feature the classic blue Warner Brothers shield as their opening logo. As the story reaches its gloriously unhinged climax, Jonas confronts not one but multiple Megalodons at the overcrowded Fun Island resort. The stakes have never been more ridiculous or more entertaining. Hundreds of panicking tourists, a giant shark launching itself onto the beach like a prehistoric torpedo, and Jonas zipping around on a jet ski like the ocean's angriest lifeguard. The key moment arrives when Jonas, after dispatching one Meg with an explosive harpoon, faces the Alpha in a final showdown. He leaps from his jet ski onto the creature's back, driving a blade into its eye. Not subtle, not realistic, but pure B-movie poetry. This action demonstrates both his skill and his emotional growth. He's no longer just surviving. He's protecting this found family with everything he has. Jiuming's arc concludes meaningfully here as well. After his overconfidence cost them earlier, he redeems himself by piloting the rescue boat through chaos, trusting Jonas's instincts rather than his own ego. The ending lands as purely triumphant. The family surfaces together, the immediate threat eliminated, and the surviving Megs presumably waiting for part 3. The filmmakers intended these final moments to leave a lasting impression of pure, unapologetic fun. Sharks, explosions, and Statham doing what Statham does best. In conclusion, Meg 2. The Trench delivers exactly what it promises. Bigger sharks, bigger chaos, and Jason Statham doing things on a jet ski that no human should attempt. It's gloriously silly, self-aware, and never pretends to be anything other than a creature feature on steroids. Whether you're here for the prehistoric mayhem or just watching to see a Meg eat a T-Rex, there's plenty to enjoy. If you survived this breakdown, drop a comment with your thoughts. Did Meg 2 exceed your expectations, or was it too over the top even for you? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more movie reviews, deep dives, and behind-the-scenes insights. Thanks for watching, and maybe stay out of the water again.